Some people marry for love. Others marry for money. And some marry with a plan to leave you with nothing but silence and a fingerprint. Chicago, Illinois. Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. Dorothy Jenkins walks out of her real estate office. Same routine. Same time. Same parking spot. She's thinking about dinner with her young husband. The one people whisper about. The one her children can't stand. A stranger approaches. Friendly smile. Says he knows Malik. Dorothy never makes it home. Wednesday morning, her children find something on the kitchen counter. Something that makes Keisha scream. Something that changes everything they thought they knew about their mother's new husband. By Thursday, police in 3 states are hunting for answers. By Friday, someone is dead by their own hand. And Dorothy Jenkins? She's gone. Vanished. Like she never existed. Except for what they left behind. If you're new here, subscribe to True Crime Journal. These stories are real, raw, and unforgettable. And this one? This one will destroy everything you think you know about love, trust, and family. Dorothy Jenkins wasn't born rich, but she worked hard to get that way. 67 years old. Self-made real estate queen. 4 apartment buildings on the south side. 3 rental properties downtown. Money in the bank. Respect in the community. Her husband died 4 years back. Heart attack took him sudden. Dorothy mourned hard. Her children worried she'd never smile again. Keisha, her daughter, lived 30 minutes away. Married with 3 kids. She called her mama every Tuesday without fail. Marcus, her son, was the baby. 35 years old. Still single. Still trying to make Dorothy proud with his accounting firm. Both children loved their mama fierce. But they worried about her too. See, after Daddy died, Dorothy got lonely. Real lonely. That loneliness made her vulnerable. And that vulnerability made her a perfect target. That's when she met Malik Thompson. He was 27 years old with smooth words and old soul eyes. The kind of eyes that made lonely women feel seen. But Malik wasn't working alone. He was part of something bigger. Something darker. A syndicate that specialized in wealthy widows with deep pockets. Malik had been recruited 2 years earlier by Destiny Washington, a 34-year-old who'd been running romance scams since she was 25. Destiny had perfected the art of finding vulnerable older women, gaining their trust, and disappearing with their assets before anyone caught on. These old ladies are desperate, Destiny would tell her crew during their planning sessions. They lost their husbands. Their kids are busy with their own lives. They're sitting on retirement money and property with nobody to spoil. We just gotta make them feel desired again. Destiny's crew was small but efficient. 3 men who could play different roles depending on what the target needed. Malik was the charming, respectful type. Perfect for women who wanted a gentleman who made them feel young again. Jamal Stevens was the intellectual type. 29 years old with a fake college degree and expensive clothes. He targeted wealthy professionals who wanted stimulating conversation. And then there was Destiny's boyfriend and enforcer, Darnell Parker. 31 years old with hands that had done terrible things. Armed robbery, assault, murder. He'd met Destiny in county lockup 6 years back when she was doing time for elder abuse. Darnell provided muscle for the crew and handled the situations when Marks got suspicious or started asking too many questions. The syndicate had been operating for 9 years. 15 successful relationships across 8 states. Millions of dollars in cleaned-out bank accounts, stolen property deeds, and forged wills. And 7 dead women who'd gotten too close to the truth. Dorothy Jenkins was supposed to be number 8. Malik first spotted Dorothy at Second Baptist Church on Sunday mornings. She'd started attending alone after her husband died. Same pew. Same time. Always dressed nice but sitting by herself. The picture of loneliness. Destiny did the research. Background checks. Financial records. Property assessments. Credit reports. Social media stalking of her children. This one's perfect, Destiny announced at their planning meeting. Owns 4 apartment buildings free and clear. Real estate portfolio worth $2 million. Retirement savings worth $600,000. Life insurance policy worth $400,000. And get this, her kids only visit on holidays. Too busy with their own lives. The approach was textbook Destiny Washington. Malik started attending Second Baptist Church on Sunday mornings. Not his regular denomination, but Destiny had connections everywhere. A few words with the assistant pastor. A story about being new in town and looking for a church family. Malik was shaking hands with the congregation in a week. Sister Jenkins, he'd say after service, flashing that $1 million smile. I hope you don't mind me saying, but you look lovely today. That dress brings out your eyes. Dorothy ate that attention up like Sunday dinner. Here was this handsome young man who seemed genuinely interested in an old woman's conversation. 6 months of Sunday conversations turned into coffee dates after church. Coffee dates turned into Malik helping her with heavy lifting around the house. Fixing things. Being useful. That's when people started talking. You see that old woman with that young boy. He young enough to be her grandson. What do you want with her except her money? The whispers followed Dorothy everywhere. At the grocery store. At church. At her real estate office. But the whispers got louder when Dorothy announced she was getting married. "Mama, you can't be serious," Keisha said one Sunday dinner. People already talking. "You gonna make it worse?" Dorothy's face went hard. "Since when you care what people say? I raised you better than that." "It ain't about what people say," Marcus jumped in. "It's about you. This boy is 40 years younger than you. What y'all got in common?" "We got love," Dorothy said firm. "Something y'all too busy with your own lives to understand." That hurt. Cut deep. But Dorothy didn't care. For the first time in 4 years, she felt alive. Desired. Important. The wedding was small. City Hall ceremony. Just the officiant, Dorothy, Malik, and his best friend Jamal as witness. Keisha and Marcus didn't come. Said they couldn't watch their mother make what they thought was the biggest mistake of her life. Dorothy bought Malik a silver BMW. Put his name on one of her accounts. Added him to her life insurance policy. Moved him into her house in Hyde Park. For 3 months, Dorothy Jenkins Thompson was the happiest she'd been since her husband died. She had no idea those would be the last happy months of her life. Because while Dorothy was falling in love, Malik was falling deeper into a plan that would end with her finger on a kitchen counter. And Dorothy's safe emptied before anyone realized she was gone. But this time, something went wrong. Dead wrong. Destiny Washington ran her operation like a Fortune 500 company. Careful planning, detailed research, clean exits. But the Dorothy Jenkins job was different. Bigger. Worth more money than any of their previous scores. This old lady is sitting on almost $3 million when you count everything. Destiny told her crew during their final planning session. Properties, savings, life insurance, investment accounts. This could set us up for life. The plan was simple. Malik would marry Dorothy, get access to her accounts, transfer as much money as possible, then stage Dorothy's disappearance during a fake home invasion. Malik would be the grieving husband. Dorothy would be the tragic victim, and the crew would split the money 4 ways in the Bahamas. What if she gets suspicious? Malik asked during one of their planning sessions. "That's why we got Darnell," Destiny said. "Any problems, he handles them permanent-like." Darnell nodded slow. He'd handled problems before. In Memphis, in Atlanta, in Jacksonville. Dead women told no tales. But there was a complication nobody had planned for. Dorothy was smarter than their usual targets. She'd built a real estate empire from nothing. She knew how to protect her assets. Dorothy had installed a biometric safe in her bedroom closet. Fingerprint access only. No combination. No key. Just her right index finger. Inside that safe was everything that mattered. Cash. Jewelry. Property deeds. Stock certificates. Investment account information. Her entire fortune locked behind technology that couldn't be cracked or forced open. Malik had been trying to get Dorothy to show him the safe for weeks. Playing the concerned husband who wanted to know where important documents were kept. "Baby, what if something happens to you?" he'd say. "How would I know where to find your insurance papers? Your will." But Dorothy was old school. "Don't worry about all that, honey. When the time comes, everything will be taken care of." She never opened that safe when Malik was around. Never gave him the access he needed. That's when Destiny made a decision that would haunt everyone involved. "We need her finger," Destiny told the crew during their Tuesday meeting. "The actual finger. It's the only way to open that safe." Jamal looked sick. "You talking about cutting off her finger while she's alive?" "I'm talking about doing what needs to be done to access $3 million. Malik felt ice in his stomach. He'd signed up to charm old ladies and steal their money, not to torture them. What if we just make her open it for us? Threaten her until she cooperates? Destiny shook her head. Biometric scanners can detect stress, fear. They won't work if she's under duress. The finger has to be fresh, still warm, still carrying her normal blood flow. The room went quiet. Even Darnell looked uncomfortable. "So we gotta kill her," Darnell said finally. "Take the finger while she's still alive. Use it to open the safe, then dispose of the body." Malik stared at the wedding ring Dorothy had bought him. 3 months ago, he was running small-time credit card scams. Now he was about to become a murderer. What if I can't do it? He asked quietly. Destiny's eyes went cold. Then you'll end up like Dorothy, dead. That Tuesday evening, Dorothy cooked dinner for her husband. Fried chicken and mac and cheese. His favorite meal. She was thinking about their upcoming anniversary. Maybe taking a cruise. Maybe renewing their vows. She had no idea her husband was planning to kill her before morning. At 9 p.m., Dorothy went to her bedroom to get ready for bed. Malik stayed downstairs, watching TV, waiting for the signal. At 10:30 p.m., Darnell and Jamal entered through the back door. Malik had left it unlocked. Dorothy was in the bathroom, washing her face, when she heard footsteps in the bedroom. Malik? That you, baby? She came out of the bathroom to find 3 men standing in her bedroom. Her husband and 2 strangers wearing masks. What's going on? She asked, her voice shaking. I'm sorry, Dorothy, Malik said, and he meant it. I'm really, really sorry. That's when she understood. The young husband who'd made her feel beautiful again. The man she'd trusted with her heart and her home. He was there to rob her. Or worse. Please, she begged as Darnell moved toward her. Take whatever you want. The jewelry. The cash. Everything. Just don't hurt me. We need something specific, Darnell said, pulling out the bolt cutters. Something only you can give us. Dorothy saw the industrial tools. The rope. The plastic bags. She knew she wasn't going to survive this. Malik, she whispered, looking at her husband. I loved you. I really loved you. Malik turned away. Couldn't watch what came next. I know you did, he said to the wall. That's what made this so easy. The bolt cutters were designed to cut through steel cables, through chain link fences, through human bone. Dorothy screamed when Darnell positioned the cutters around her right index finger. Please. I'll open the safe. I'll give you everything. Can't risk it, Darnell said. Scanner might not work if you're scared. Dorothy passed out from the pain when the cutters went through bone. When she woke up, Darnell was testing her severed finger on the biometric scanner. The safe beeped softly and opened. Inside was everything Destiny had promised and more. Stacks of cash, diamond jewelry, property deeds worth millions, stock certificates, a lifetime of work, a lifetime of saving, a lifetime of dreams. Darnell stuffed it all in duffel bags. Moving fast, hands steady. He'd done this before. Dorothy watched from the chair where they tied her. Blood everywhere. Pain like nothing she'd ever felt. You got what you wanted, she whispered. Let me go. Please. Darnell looked at her with something that might have been pity. Can't do that, Mrs. Jenkins. You've seen our faces. You know our voices. You could identify us. I won't tell nobody. I swear. I just want to see my grandchildren again. Malik finally looked at her. His wife of 3 months. The woman who'd cooked for him. Loved him. Trusted him with everything. I'm sorry, he said again. The gunshot was small caliber. Quick. Designed not to make too much noise in a residential neighborhood. Dorothy Jenkins Thompson died thinking about her children, wondering why they'd been right about Malik all along. By midnight, Dorothy's body was at the bottom of Lake Michigan, weighted down with chains from her own garage. The current would carry her far from shore. Far from the life she built. Far from the children who'd warned her about marrying too fast. Wednesday morning came quiet in Chicago. At 10 a.m. sharp, Keisha called her mother's house. Something she did every Wednesday to check on Dorothy and plan their weekend shopping trip. But nobody answered. Keisha tried her mother's cell phone. Straight to voicemail. The phone was in pieces at the bottom of Lake Michigan. Malik had made sure of that. By noon, Keisha was worried. Dorothy always answered her phone. Always returned calls within an hour. Marcus tried calling too. Same result. No answer at the house. Cell phone going straight to voicemail. Something's wrong, Keisha told her brother. Mama would never ignore our calls. That's when the worry turned to panic. By 2 p.m., both children were driving to their mother's house, using the spare keys Dorothy had given them for emergencies. Mama, Keisha called out as they entered the house. You home? No answer. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Malik's BMW was gone from the driveway. That could mean anything. Maybe they'd gone shopping. Maybe they'd taken a day trip. But something felt wrong. They searched the house room by room. Living room. Dining room. Kitchen. That's when they found it. On the kitchen counter. Like somebody had left it as a message. Dorothy's severed finger. Still wearing her wedding ring. Keisha screamed. A sound that came from somewhere deep inside her. The sound of a daughter's heart breaking. Marcus grabbed his phone, dialing 911 with shaking hands. 911? What's your emergency? My mother's missing, Marcus said, his voice cracking. And we found her finger. Police arrived within minutes. The house became a crime scene. Yellow tape. Photographers. Evidence technicians. Where's your mother's husband? The lead detective asked. We don't know, Keisha said through tears. We've been trying to call both of them all morning. Nobody's answering. That raised red flags. Husband missing same time as wife? With a severed finger on the counter? The detective started making calls. Malik's phone was off. Had been since Tuesday evening. His job said he'd called in sick Wednesday morning. No explanation. The biggest red flag came from the bank. Wednesday morning, someone had tried to access Dorothy's accounts from Detroit, Michigan. Large withdrawals. Wire transfers. The transactions were blocked because they triggered fraud alerts. Ma'am, the detective told Keisha, we think your stepfather might be involved in your mother's disappearance. Keisha wasn't surprised. She'd never trusted Malik from day one. You think he hurt Mama? We think he knows more than he's telling. And right now, we can't find him to ask. The APB went out that evening. All points bulletin for Malik Thompson. Last seen driving a silver BMW. Considered a person of interest in a missing person case. Meanwhile, in Detroit, Malik was learning that running with blood money ain't as easy as it looks in movies. He'd made rookie mistakes. Used his credit card for gas. Left a paper trail across 2 states. Used his real name at motels. Signed the register with his actual signature. Each mistake left a trail. And police know how to follow trails. Thursday morning, Malik woke up in a cheap motel outside Detroit. His phone was buzzing. Missed calls from numbers he didn't recognize. Malik's hands started shaking. He tried calling Destiny. No answer. Tried calling Jamal. Phone disconnected. He was alone, with duffel bags full of stolen money. 300 miles from home. And police closing in. While Malik was panicking in Detroit, Chicago police were hunting his accomplices. The finger had been analyzed. Cut with industrial tools. Bolt cutters, most likely. That kind of precision suggested someone with experience. Someone who'd hurt people before. Destiny Washington was the obvious next target. Police went to her apartment Thursday evening. Knocked hard. No answer. The building manager let them in. Destiny was passed out on the couch. Empty bottles everywhere. Pills scattered on the coffee table. She'd been on a 3-day bender since Tuesday night. When police shook her awake, Destiny could barely focus. Destiny Washington, you're under arrest in connection with the disappearance of Dorothy Jenkins. Destiny giggled. Actually giggled. Dorothy who? She slurred. But when they searched her apartment, the giggling stopped. Dorothy's jewelry. Her credit cards. Text messages on Destiny's phone from Tuesday night. It's done. Got everything from the safe. Malik's heading to Detroit. Destiny sobered up real quick in the back of that police car. When they asked about Darnell Parker, Destiny's face went white. I ain't seen Darnell since Tuesday, she said. He was supposed to call me. Something went wrong. Police had been looking for Darnell since Wednesday. His apartment was cleaned out. His regular hangouts were empty. Nobody had seen him since Tuesday evening. That's when they got the tip. Anonymous caller. Said they heard gunshots at an abandoned house on the west side. Police found Darnell Friday morning. Dead in a bathtub. Single gunshot to the head. His own gun in his hand. Suicide note on the counter. Can't live with what I done to that old lady. God forgive me. But no mention of Dorothy's location. No confession about the body. Just a dead end. Darnell had hidden the body somewhere else. Somewhere they'd never find it. And now Darnell was dead. Taking that secret with him. Back in Detroit, the knock on Malik's motel room door came Friday afternoon. Detroit police. Open up. Malik looked around the room. Cash spread on the bed. Dorothy's jewelry in his suitcase. Her property deeds in his backpack. No way to explain any of it. He opened the door with his hands up. I want a lawyer, were the first words out of his mouth. Smart boy. He was going to need one. The Cook County Courthouse was packed tighter than Christmas service. The case had everything Chicago loved to gossip about. Young husband. Old wife. Missing body. Severed finger. Plus the age gap that had everyone talking from day one. That boy was playing the long game. People whispered in the hallway. The district attorney was confident. She had Destiny's testimony. The evidence from Detroit. The financial records. What she didn't have was Dorothy's body. But she convicted killers with less. Malik's defense attorney was a public defender. Overworked but not outmatched. His strategy was simple: blame the dead enforcer. Ladies and gentlemen, the defense told the jury in opening statements, "My client is a victim, a young man manipulated by seasoned criminals." Darnell Parker planned this crime. Destiny Washington orchestrated it. Malik Thompson was just a pawn in their game. The prosecutor saw it different. Malik Thompson had what the others needed, she told the jury: access, trust, information. Without him, Dorothy Jenkins would still be alive today. The trial lasted 5 weeks. Keisha and Marcus testified about their mother, the kind of woman she was, how much they loved her. "Mama deserved better," Keisha said, crying on the witness stand. "She gave that boy everything: love, money, a home, a future, and he gave her death." The evidence was damaging. Text messages between Destiny and Malik planning the score. Bank records showing attempted access to Dorothy's accounts from Detroit. The bloody bolt cutters found in Destiny's apartment. Most damaging was Malik's behavior after Dorothy disappeared. Instead of reporting her missing, he ran, took her money, her jewelry, everything he could carry. Like he already knew she wasn't coming back. Destiny Washington took a plea deal, 15 years in exchange for her testimony. On the witness stand, she told everything: how they planned it, how Darnell took Dorothy's finger to access the safe, how they killed her to prevent identification. "Where's Dorothy's body?" the prosecutor asked. Destiny looked at Malik, then at the jury. "Darnell never told us. Said it was better if we didn't know." The defense hammered Destiny on cross-examination. "You're testifying to save yourself, aren't you?" "I'm testifying because it's the truth," Destiny replied. When Malik took the stand, the courtroom was silent. "I never wanted Dorothy hurt," he said, his voice shaking. "I loved her. She saved me from the streets." "Then why did you run to Detroit?" the prosecutor asked. "I was scared. Destiny and Darnell told me if I stayed, police would blame me for everything. You took your wife's money, her jewelry, her property deeds. They told me to take it. Said it would look suspicious if I didn't. But the prosecutor wasn't buying it. Mr. Thompson, you had access to your wife's home, her schedule, her trust. Without you, this crime couldn't have happened. I thought they were just gonna rob her," Malik whispered. "Take some money and leave. I never thought they'd kill her. But you were willing for them to rob the woman who loved you?" Malik's voice got smaller. "I was desperate. Her kids hated me. I knew when she died, they'd get everything. I just wanted security." The jury deliberated for 4 days. When they returned, Malik was trembling. "On the charge of conspiracy to commit kidnapping, we find the defendant guilty. On the charge of theft, we find the defendant guilty. On the charge of conspiracy to commit murder, we find the defendant guilty." Malik collapsed. His lawyer caught him before he hit the floor. In the gallery, Keisha and Marcus held each other tight. Justice was served, but their mama was still gone. Judge Patricia Williams sentenced Malik Thompson to 30 years in prison. Destiny Washington got 15 with her plea deal. 9 years later, Dorothy Jenkins' body still hasn't been found. Her properties were sold. The money went to her grandchildren's college funds. But here's the twist that haunts everyone who knew this case. Hidden in Dorothy's bedroom, police found love letters. Letters she'd written to Malik but never sent, pouring out her heart about how much she loved him, how grateful she was to have found love again at her age. The last letter, dated the day before she died: "My dear Malik, I know people think you married me for money, but I don't care. You make me feel young again, beautiful again, loved again. Whatever you need, it's yours. My heart, my home, my everything. I trust you completely." Dorothy Jenkins died believing her husband loved her, never knowing he was there to rob her blind. So let me ask you something. When someone gives you their heart, what do you do with it? Cherish it? Protect it? Or do you break it into pieces for profit? Dorothy Jenkins learned that loneliness makes people vulnerable. Malik Thompson learned that greed eventually destroys everything it touches. Destiny Washington learned that some criminal organizations eat their own when things go wrong. But Keisha and Marcus Jenkins learned something different. They learned that real love survives death, that family bonds are stronger than criminal lies, that speaking up for victims gives them a voice they can't use themselves. This is True Crime Journal. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop a comment below. The question isn't whether you can trust someone who seems too good to be true. The question is whether you can see the warning signs before your heart stops beating. Because predators are patient. They're charming. They study your vulnerabilities and use them against you. They make you feel special right up until the moment they destroy you. Until next time, Stay safe out there. And remember, when someone's past is full of mysteries, it's probably not romance. It's probably danger. Love given freely is a gift. Love taken by force is a crime. Love that kills is evil. Know the difference. Your life might depend on it.